Hey there, Libra. Welcome to your reading for September 2025. Now, Libra, I would say that you might have, I don't know yet, but I would definitely say, based off your astrology, I think it could be a very exciting month for you. You out of all the signs have, like, I don't know, I just see like a lot going on for you, so there you go. You have this Siren card. It says temptation may lead you astray, and you have the Satyr, which is kind of like the devil in this deck, and it says revelry and indulgence. So, other people have had similar energies to this, so not exactly the same, but, just being careful of temptations and, making sure that you're staying healthy and things like that as well, right? And here you go. You have the devil right here. Again, I wouldn't say this is a big deal, but, to me, this devil energy is very much just maybe kind of like the South Node in Virgo, right? That's not what the devil represents, but, just the fact that we have the South Node in Virgo, I think, is maybe saying that we have to be clean at this time. We have to be healthy, and, that includes mental health and physical health and everything in between. So I think as long as you're staying healthy, then in avoiding temptations, like the things that you know are bad for you, then things will go well. And if you don't, then you won't, right? Plain and simple. The other thing that I would say to you, Libra, is that you have, again, I haven't heard anyone else talk about this, but, around your birthday time, this is going to hit between like the 23rd and the 25th, basically, of September. You are going to have the Sun trining Pluto and Uranus, and the Sun obviously will be in your sign. So this is a pretty powerful to have these two, these two basically trines to the Sun in Libra, and especially Pluto. I think sometimes Pluto gets a bad rap in the astrology, but Pluto is power, and this could give you Can't make it up. You end with this Sun card. So I'm telling you right now, I think there's a couple of things that are popping into my head for you, Libra. Number one, I think that Sun energy, especially right away, at the end, towards the end of the month, like I would say, technically I think that trine is active from the 21st of September until the 25th with Pluto, and then until like the 23rd or somewhere around there for Uranus, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's basically, from your birthday till the 25th. We'll just say that, right? And, I would start I know that this is for the entire month of September, but I would definitely say it like around your birthday time, your solar return. But I would actually say for all, obviously you're not all born on the first day of Libra. But I would say the first day of Libra, or, basically around the 23rd, maybe a couple days before, maybe a couple days after, I would like start something, anything that you're wanting to start. You could gain a lot of power at this time, Libra, with that energy. I would also say, starting something with like Uranus and Pluto trine to the Sun like that, it gives you a little bit of this like unstoppable energy. It's like that those two trines there together, I believe, could give you just that little, kick in the pants that you need to feel really, really motivated. And, I'm not saying that these trines are all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns, but, what I am saying is that taking advantage of it would be a very, very good thing. And, the other thing is, if you want to be super technical about it, until like 2030 or something like that, basically, well, until longer than that, Pluto is trining Libra in general. And yes, a planet can just trine a sign because, being in Aquarius, it's forming a trine to the sign. That trine alone, without any planets transiting in Libra, like we're just pretending that, this could be making you a little bit more magnetic as well. So this could be good and bad. Obviously I would make sure you're being magnetic to the things you want. With the Queen of Cups here, I would make sure that you're being magnetic to your heart's desires. The Queen of Cups values her heart more than anything else. But you're kind of entering into a little bit of a magnetic era for yourself here, Libra, and I would take advantage of it to the positive. Again, it can go both ways, right? So you want to make sure that you go in the right direction. You have the moon here. I just think that we're in a time of like incomplete stories, basically, with the moon. I've been seeing the moon a lot, and, that's kind of the message that I want to deliver with the moon, is incomplete stories. I think that a lot of us, we could have some stories in our lives that are incomplete. These could be good things, bad things, and everything in between, but I think we need to decide, which stories we want to complete. And some stories aren't meant to be completed, right? It's like sometimes, maybe there is no answer to something and you could be letting those things go. This is really about, we're in a very strong time of the truth, I would say, right now, for sure. And, it's like one of those things where we also have to kind of decide, like, what is our own truth. And, that could mean that there are parts of your life where you thought you would complete something and you don't. Then there are other parts where you are going to complete something. And that's what I would basically do. The other word that's popping into my head is like coincidences, this month. I don't know, I have a lot. I knew based off your astrology that this would be an active reading. I definitely feel that intuitively as well. It's like I'm getting like wild coincidences. Like, don't be surprised if you experience like one coincidence after another this month. They're probably not really coincidences. They're probably, it could be spirit trying to guide you. It could be synchronicities, things like that. But, one thing I will say is I would follow the coincidences. It's like one coincidence could lead to another, which could, lead to a success. And I would pay attention to that. Like everybody else, you have something toxic here. Again, to me, this is just the astrology. We literally go 9 of swords to the 7 of swords here from the devil. And so this could be like a toxic person, a toxic situation. And it just seems to me like literally every single person is being asked to cut something toxic out of their life this month. And it literally could be anything. It could be a temptation. It could be a person that's toxic. It could be a bad behavior. We all have them, right? It could be something. And I would just say pick one thing and cut it out. Here you go with the Queen of Cups. Yeah, it's all about you this month, I would say. I would really be nurturing the things that you care about. Again, you're probably not even going to have to try to be magnetic this month either because of the astrology, especially that Pluto trine, to your sign, especially because of the sun, right? Like, especially this month. I think this is something that you're going to be experiencing until like 2033, maybe even longer for some of you, like maybe the entire time that Pluto is, in your sign. But what I would say here is that, and I mean, no, Pluto is not in your sign, but, the entire time that it's in Aquarius is what I meant to say, that you could be just magnetic without even trying. You could be finding that you're attracting a lot of people, but for everything, we're not just talking about love here, Libra. We're talking about like your ideas, your plans, your goals, and I would be taking advantage of that, but especially this month because of the trine to your sun, right? With the moon, you have you showing up here. Like I said, I think this reading is all about you and you showing up in a strong position. I would just take advantage of it. With the devil, you have the Knight of Swords. Yes, I would be careful of any people here, just in general. For some of you, it's like I feel like this could be a person that's like, don't go type of energy. So if you have a past person who like all of a sudden is rushing back in, begging you to stay or something like that, I don't know, it's popping into my head. I would just be careful of it with that energy. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Underworld card. It says, awaken your inner witch to maximize your potential and connect with universal energies. Yes. You have this Day and Night card. It says there's current disharmony due to existing differences in some matter. I think that's part of the challenge this month. This month is like, it's like not amazing, but it's also not terrible as well. To be quite honest with you, I thought these readings were going to be worse because it's like we have these two eclipses, one on the 7th in Pisces, one at the end of the month on the 21st in Virgo. I don't really think they're bad, but I do think they are pressure, is what I feel intuitively. Like, I feel that a lot of people could wake up even, probably more towards the Virgo eclipse, like on the 21st. People could be like, I'm running out of time. Or there could be some sort of, thing that happens in your life where you feel like you don't have time or you're out of time or something like that. But I don't know. They've been pretty positive, but also one thing I will say that I didn't really expect is this right here. I feel like people, like if there are differences between you and someone else, or, let's say you definitely don't agree with the people that you work with, right? It's like those differences are going to be highlighted this month, and, this could be helping you get more into alignment. Alignment seems to be more important than ever. I think alignment is always important, but, I don't know. It's just like there's been this extra focus on being in alignment, like people needing to live their truth, like truly being in alignment. And I think the people who do that are going to have a great time. So there you go. You have the Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is straightforward, diligent work. And again, I think this is probably Saturn. Saturn is retrograding into the end of Pisces, and it will be there on September 1st. So literally like the day we start the month. And I think that for whatever reason, I think Saturn retrograding into the end of Pisces is going to be good for people who are like choosing to like work on something and be focused diligently on one thing, right? This is the secret sauce for this month. I mean, for everyone, really, is just pick one thing and finish it. And I've been saying this to you for months here, Libra, because also of all the energy going into Aries for you, right? Saturn and Neptune, they are both heading back towards Pisces as we speak. But, again, at the beginning of next year in January and February, they're both going to move back into Aries. So your opposite sign. I mean, again, the trick for you is to pick one thing and finish it. And when you finish it, pick something else that you want to work on and finish it, right? If you do that, you will see amazing results. You have the Nine of Swords. I do think something has to come to an end, probably with a person. I don't know. I just see like a toddler in my head here, like a person who's like, "Don't go." It's like, you ever see one of those like meme videos or something where a little kid is like, "I'm running away," and the parents are like, "Okay, bye," and the little kid like goes out the door and then freaks out, right? Because they don't know what to do once the door is closed behind them, right? It's like that's what I feel is going on here. I think that probably will make sense to you if this part of the reading is for you, Libra. I think that, maybe you were dealing with someone like that who's like, "I'm leaving," and then it's like you shut the door and they're like crying, on the other side of the door. So I don't know. But I would be careful. I feel like this could be a toxic energy you need to let go of anyway. Like I've said to other people, there's something about this month about health, right? So I'm not a doctor, and so do not take this as medical advice. But again, I think people need to be very careful of their health this month. I'm not saying this to like freak anyone out. There's actually nothing to worry about. If you just take care of yourself, you will be perfectly fine. So I would just take care of yourself, right? You have the Ten of Pentacles. Again, you have this Underworld card that says, awaken. Sorry, I can't read it. There's glare. It says, awaken your inner witch to maximize potential and connect to the universal energies. But it's Scorpio. Scorpio is really good at diving deep into topics, The Ten of Pentacles can be an inheritance. It can be wealth building, things like that, which are all great, and I definitely would recommend that you work on that. But there is an alternative meaning to the Ten of Pentacles, which is hidden or secret information. And it's not that it's hidden or secret. It just says you have to go below surface level. You have to, like, if there's something you're trying to make successful this month, it could be anything in your life. It says dive deep into the topics you care about and really, go deeper to really learn about things that you want to see be successful. And if you do that, you'll probably be more successful. With the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Cups. I think it's going to be hard for you to get motivated to do things that you don't want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I just literally feel like you just literally will not be able to. Is kind of what's popping into my head. Like, if there are things that you just don't want to do, you're just not going to do them. Which I kind of feel good about, Libra. It's almost like maybe you're putting up some boundaries, or, it's like maybe you're just deciding like life is too short to do things that you hate, And I don't know, I kind of get that feeling here. I feel like good about it. With the Nine of Swords, yes, I would be careful of a past person. Judgment is one of the only cards in the tarot I consider an ex coming back. This and Wheel of Fortune. I do not consider the Six of Cups to be an ex coming back, but, what I would say here is that, I would be careful of any past people, especially if you had like a little toddler in your life, right? The other thing is again, I got that message. I would pay attention to coincidences that seem like coincidences. Are they really coincidences? I don't know. It just seems to me like there could be some wild coincidences where you're like, wow, that these two things matched up perfectly, right? So, again, this right here is your higher self angel. And it just seems to me like there's a little bit of guidance for you this month. Or it's like the universe is trying to guide you or something like that, and I would pay attention to that. I'm getting a lot here, Libra. Like I said, this is a very active reading. The other thing that I'm getting here, Libra, is I really feel this could be a month where it's like you are seeing who's on your side and who's not on your side, and I would pay attention to that as well. With the Ten of Pentacles, sure, we'll take both. You have the King of Wands and the Strength card. You always get a fire sign with me. If you want love, could be fire sign coming in for you. Although, again, I think this reading's all about you. I think that this is saying you need to be brave, bold, assertive, and really, commit to the topics that you are wanting to see be successful this month. And that's pretty much all I would do here. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this pleasure card and this community card. Yeah, like I said, it would be a good time to spend time with the people who you know are on your side this month. The people who you know support you. And, the good news is I feel this will be very obvious for you, Libra. It's like I think you'll be able to see like, oh, these people have my back, these people don't have my back, or, this specific person. So I would pay attention to that. The energy has also been too serious for too long. So a lot of people have been getting these cards of like pleasure and having fun. I do think we need to have more fun or do things to have more fun. You have the Seven of Swords, the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Cups. I would be careful of any liar, cheater, stealers this month, of course. Like I said, you almost have, I think you almost have like people x-ray vision this month where it's like you know when people are right for you and you know when people are wrong for you. And, I would just basically trust those instincts that you have about people because you're probably right. You have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior. Nine of Wands kind of says, like, don't give up. So I definitely wouldn't give up at this time for sure. Like I said, you're going to be magnetic. Like I said, you're entering into this time where it's like you are going to be magnetic without even trying. Pluto, trining your sign. I mean, this is going to be true for pretty much all three air signs, that you could all be a little bit more magnetic. People could be noticing your power. They could be, wanting to, it's like powerful people attract other people. So it's like you could be attracting followers and things like that as well. You're going to have solid boundaries here with the Nine of Wands so that you don't get taken advantage of, or, so that people don't burn you out and things like that, right? And I would just make sure you're paying attention to that. Again, this didn't come up for Gemini, so, or Aquarius. You're like, really, it just seems to be you. And it's probably because of the sun, right? You have the Nine of Cups. Nine of Cups is like fulfillment or wish fulfillment. I think that you need to get into a fulfillment. It's almost like, you have the Empress, you have this card, these cards are about kind of like self-care and being in alignment, like we already talked about. The Empress, she really nurtures what she loves. And the Nine of Cups, he is in alignment with exactly what he wants. That's why he can make a wish and get it, because he's making a wish and he's already in alignment with what he wants. And so I would make sure that you are nurturing the things that you care about this month, Libra. Let's see. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Page of Pentacles. Could be a new person coming in for you as well. The Seven of Swords doesn't only have to be lying, but I would pay attention, right? If you get a bad feeling on a new person, pay attention. The Page of Pentacles can also be communication. Like I said, I think it's clear here, going this way, judgment, that a past toddler is trying to communicate with you. I would put up boundaries. I would block them. If you know who this person is right now, I would prevent it from entering into your life. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Queen of Pentacles here. You always get the Queen of Pentacles. You always get the Seven of Pentacles, which, of course, here we go. Right here, Libra, right? Of course you have it. But very good cards for increasing your resources and, doing things to increase your resources. With the Nine of Cups, you have the King of Cups. King of Cups is about watching your emotions. This could be a person, but again, and there definitely are some love cards here, so, could be a person, but I think this reading is more all about you, and, I think that is the important thing as well. Again, this doesn't mean you won't have love. Again, I think when we focus on ourselves, that's when we do attract a good person, when we're, kind of making ourselves the best we possibly can and not worrying about everybody else, right? And so by living your best life, you probably will attract someone who's doing the same. But intuitively, I feel this is talking about your emotions. It is kind of like an emotional time. So, I would be making sure that you're taking control of your emotions. He explores his emotions to a very deep level, and he uses his emotions, but he understands how he feels about things, so he's not like panicking, right? Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Javelina card. It says choices, and the Sun, it says joy and healing. Yes, the Sun, I'm telling you right now, the action-packed month for you, Libra. I think you're going to have a lot going on, for sure. I think the two best things you could focus on are yourself and taking care of yourself with the Empress, right? And also the Eight of Pentacles. just pick one thing that you want to get finished this month, and that's it, right? And this is basically true for everyone because of that Saturn retrograde back into Pisces. I think everybody would benefit from that, but for you, it's like extra important because of those 2 cards. But definitely could be a lot of happiness coming in for you. Especially once we get closer to like the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, around your birth time there, that could be good. You have the King of Swords, the Six of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles coming up in the good stuff. You get the King of Swords with me a lot now that I think about it. And the King of Swords can represent a person who can solve your problems very quickly. So if you are dealing with any problems, challenges, issues, blockages, the King of Swords can represent finding an expert who can solve your problems very quickly. Again, Pluto has a lot to do with power. And, again, with it, since it's going to be trining you for a long time, your sign, and, especially with the sun coming up, creating that trine, it might be a good time to look for like experts or help or things like that. You have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords moving on to calmer shores. I think that with the King of Cups as well, anything you can do to create improvements in your life would be a good idea. Anything you can do to move on, to bring improvements into your life. Like, but there's what I'm trying to spit out here is it would be a good month to go find an improvement to make and make it, as in whatever you want to improve, your health, your wellness, your home, it's like it would be a good time to go do some research. 10 of Pentacles, you have to dig deeper into something to get the wealth from it, to get the abundance from it, right? And it's like always worth it with the 10 of Pentacles to go a little bit deeper, and to like research something just a little bit more, because you might learn, I don't know, you might learn something that helps you. It's like, I don't know, like I don't have any good examples, but it's like I have a daily routine. Every single morning I have a morning routine as well. My morning routine is a combination of a bunch of other people's morning routines, basically, right? It's like there are just some things that don't work for me. It's like, exercise in the morning. It's like I love that book, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, right? But getting me to exercise in the afternoon is asking a lot in the first place, right? So it's like getting me to get my ass moving in the morning, not going to happen. I don't even want to talk in the morning, right? I'm a Pisces. I want to be asleep. And so, it's like sometimes it's like we don't have to follow everything to a T is what I'm trying to say. We can make things work for us. And I don't know, that's kind of like popping into my head with this. It would be worth it for you to explore a topic like daily routine or morning routine and figure out what works for you. That is going deeper, right? It's like by doing that, I have found something that works for me. It's totally different. And well, it's not totally different. It's like mine includes some things from different people. It's different than what most people do, but it's been really good for me, right? And so again, I think that's what this is saying. Is like going deeper will help you kind of make better decisions. You have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles is a change in direction. It is the juice worth the squeeze, Libra. I don't know. This has been a long-term theme for you, so definitely something you could be asking. With the King of Swords, you have the High Priestess here. A very intuitive month as well. I mean, there's a lot of but I would say that these are more coincidences and inspirations, right? With that Pluto energy, for sure for you, Libra. Also Uranus and Gemini as well. I just, it's a very electric time, as I have probably said to you recently. And, it's like these are lightning bolts to the top of the head, like the tower, right? It's like where you just have a sudden idea and you could be like, what the hell is that? A really important time, I think, for air signs to write down their dreams, their daydreams. If you're thinking about something when you're going for a walk or whatever, like write those things down. And, they could be intuitive. With the Six of Swords, you have the Lovers. One thing I didn't pay attention to is that you do have the King and Queen of Cups here. So if you are attracting like a new person, definitely could be a solid love connection coming in for you. Sometimes I think Six of Swords with the Lovers basically says that you are making improvements in your life. And it's like, obviously, when you make improvements, you can attract a better person, like I said. So, it's like whatever improvements you're making could be helping you attract the right person. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Five of Swords. If you're thinking about taking a risk, I would. Five of Swords in the good stuff is about taking a risk. And the Seven of Pentacles can be about analysis paralysis, right? So the Seven of Pentacles, even though it's coming up in the good stuff, it can kind of say that it's like time for you to make a decision or a choice. It's time for you to kind of make that change, And so if you've been thinking about taking a risk, I would. Can't make this up. You have this. Didn't I say the word excitement at the beginning of your reading? I'm pretty sure. Like I said, action-packed month for Libra, more so than any other sign. I would argue, basically, maybe Virgo as well. But I don't know. I think it is going to be an exciting month for you. So buckle up. You have this impulsiveness card. Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on this for you, Libra. It's like with all that energy going through Aries, Chiron retrograde in Aries, next year, again, Neptune and Saturn today on August 24th, I'll be publishing this video on the 25th. They'll still be in Aries until, the 1st and whenever Neptune moves into back into Pisces. But, next year as well, you'll have Neptune and Saturn back in Aries, kind of moving through your opposite sign. And so, it's like that could make you a little impulsive, but I don't know. I almost feel like some impulsive decision-making might be good for you. Again, we're not talking about being careless or anything like that, right? But, it's like, I don't know, there could be some random opportunities that get proposed to you and things like, and taking advantage of those like spontaneous opportunities, spontaneous adventures could lead to some good things in your life over the next several years, right? Yeah, you have this discovery card. It's like that's what I mean. Like, being open to discover new things through adventure, I think could be very fulfilling for you, Libra. So I think that would be good. Let's see. You have this revenge card. Yes, I would be careful of a past person, especially if it doesn't feel right, plain and simple. One thing I will say is it's like you will see it. It's like if a past person is trying to get revenge or is up to no good, it's like you will see it. That's it. You have this defense card. Yeah, like I said, I would put up boundaries against past people, especially if it was a person who's a toddler. And again, that's very specific. That might not be for all of you. Not all of you have dated toddlers, right? But if you have, that's who I would be putting boundaries up against, right? But this looks very good here, Libra. I like it. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your month.